going outside to the data science reported those exact numbers without warning, collapsed into the valley below us. That big collapse, that gigantic landslide, the largest landslide in recorded history, came down in 3 humongous pieces. So I'll indicate those. My thumb here is going to show us where that first piece is. Giant piece that's come off the mountain. The second one is up here. It's got a right angle. That's giant piece number 2. So that's the front and the middle of our mountain. And the back portion, piece number 3, is still attached in this photo. If you want to see evidence of that landslide, that's all down here in the valley below it. The deposit, the 14-mile deposit that is laid out, about 150 feet tall on average. And you can see a very, what we call a hummocky terrain, a moundy kind of terrain, lots of little mounds. Over to the left, you have larger ones. All those mounds, all those humps and bumps, those are what we call hummocks. And those are large, intact pieces of mountain. Okay? We'll talk about those a little bit later. So taking a look at that landslide, we're going to see where it went and what it did. So part of that landslide, part of the mountain comes down, actually pushes its way into Spirit Lake, about 6 miles from the crater, able to push its way through that water, lift that lake up 800 feet into the air. And so when then it comes back down, it's now sitting on all of that landslide deposit. So this is our Spirit Lake prior to the eruption. And then afterwards, transformed into this. So our lake now sits about 200 feet higher. It's half the depth and about twice the surface area as it was before. The reason that you have the view from the plaza deck of Spirit Lake is because of that landslide. So after it hits Spirit Lake, it crashes off of Johnson Ridge. As I mentioned, it heads down the valley about 14 miles. Along the way, it's walking up creeks, streams, and rivers. And we'll talk about why that is important later as well. So, what happened with that giant landslide? The mountain is now got this crater inside of it. That crater gives you a sense of scale, perspective. That's about 1.2 miles going this way, east to west. It's about 1.8 miles looking into the center of it, through the back. And it's about 2,000 feet tall. So if you have a commercial dump truck, everybody's seen a commercial dump truck, 10 cubic yards of volume. If you were to drive that up there every single second and take out a load of Mount St. Helens, you would be working for 12 years' time, non-stop. Create the amount of stuff that came out of our mountain in a matter of moments. So, not only did the landslide cause that huge crater, it also did something else. So the magma, as I mentioned, that's sitting behind, sort of pulling up there, pushing out, as that landslide comes down, it's going to take off a piece of it, and that really high pressure stuff, pointed sideways of course, not upwards, but sideways, is going to eventually then be decapped with that landslide. So it comes down, chops off the top, and that creates that huge blast outward. So that directed blast, that's what we call lateral blast. Looks something like this. The beginnings of that blast is a very hot stone wind, but it's more than just heat and stone and wind. It's also carrying with it all the old growth forest that's in this valley below us. So with all the mass from the mountain and the debris, it's very, very low to the ground. But with all that energy that's pushing outward, it's acting more like a liquid. So it's traveling down into the valley, up and over Johnston Ridge, down into the valley, up and over South Coldwater, down into the valley, up and over Coldwater Ridge, down to the valley, going as far as 17 miles before it finally dissipates. So here at Johnston Ridge, we are located 5 miles from the crater. How long do you believe it took for that blast to reach this point?
3 seconds.
15 seconds.
Everybody agrees that it's seconds. So it's about 40 seconds.
40
For it
seconds.
to reach this point. In that time, it's actually doubled in mass. So it's twice as massive, twice as vicious as when it left the crater. It would continue on, make its way in a minute and a half as far as 11 miles to the Forest Learning Center, and in 2 minutes' time, it's gone 14 miles to the Hofstadt Creek Bridge. So you remember passing a really long long
Yeah.
straight bridge.
Yeah, that was it.
Took you a while to get from there up to here. Our blast took just 2 minutes time. Another way to illustrate the destruction that was caused by that hot stone wind, take a look here. This is a picture, a satellite image rather, of the vegetation that existed around our mountain. You can see our mountain at the bottom. Spirit Lake rather is over here. If we fast forward in time, it's that same satellite image.
Oh my God.
That blast was able to destroy an area roughly the size of the city of Chicago.
Oh my
This is a total
God.
of 180 seconds. 3 minutes time. So, as devastating as those two events are, they're unfortunately not the last events to take place. The last event I'd like to talk about, last events, something that a lot of people are familiar with volcanoes and probably have seen from our mountain through pictures. So, our ash column is forming with the eruption. This thing will shoot up 15 miles high, traveling as far as the Great Plains. But what I want to focus on is not the upward movement, but rather the downward. So you can see here, we also have this cascading of ash down inside the volcano. These are what we call pyroclastic flows. So the hot material, the heavy material that can't go up, then as a result goes down. And these become these avalanches of gas, ash, and pumice. 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit is a good temperature for those. And they're coming down the mountain, filling in the valley, the area here right in front of the volcano. And what happens because they're superheated, because they're so devastating, they are killing all life that remains after the blast and the landslide. So there are now no nutrients, no microbial life, nothing exists in that area directly in front of the volcano. And that extends also down into Spirit Lake. So, the eruption definitely took care of the landscape and changed it dramatically. So with that changed landscape, a lot of people were trying to figure out what is going to become of this area around Mount St. Helens. Even before the eruption, there were plenty of people that were advocating for a monument. After the eruption, this was met with very strong opposition, especially from private companies, people that wanted to come in and salvage timber. So they lost a lot of money with this eruption, and they wanted to come back and try to reclaim some of those trees. This battle went back and forth for several years, and in August of 1982, a bill landed on the desk of President Reagan that asked for a 150,000-acre monument. President Reagan was actually not in favor of signing it into being. He was more on the other side of things, but his environmental policy was very lacking at that time, and he was receiving a lot of backlash for it. So in order to boost his resume, boost his career, he decided to sign it into being, and also afterwards signed another 38 million acres into protection, federal protection. So, with that monument in place, I want to show you what things would have looked like around that time. So this is that area, like as I mentioned, right in front of the volcano. Completely devastated, completely devoid of life. If we compare that with what we see with our own eyes today, what's the major difference? It's green, yes. It has color to it as opposed to a monotone gray. So, to give you an idea of things, how that looked, I'll show you, well actually I'll introduce this rather, something that I hear from visitors. So that sort of changed. One thing that I get a lot is they tell me, I can't imagine, or I can't believe how much it's changed. Now this is sometimes from somebody who's seen pictures coming up for the first time, but also from repeat visitors. And the idea is that we also are very much astonished. Many of the people that were here right after the eruption, scientists and Forest Service and so forth, they were looking at this landscape and believing, if it comes back at all, it could be hundreds and hundreds of years. But you see 37 years later, we already have life. I have here now a couple timelines that are going to show us how life progressed down on that area, that devastated area in the valley here below us. You can get a sense of just how quickly things are returning and making their way back. So, because that's a devastated area, because there's a lot going on and a lot coming back, that's interesting a lot of people from all over the world. So we have scientists coming from all kinds of places here studying how that life is coming back and how our landscape is changing. Because of that, I have a sad news for you guys. So one thing is, people come up to me and they ask me, how do we get to Spirit Lake? Does anybody know the answer?
Can't get there.
You cannot. Yeah, you don't. You can certainly view it from multiple places, but you cannot actually step foot on the shore of Spirit Lake. It, like that valley, is all in that protected area, so it's a Class 1 research area open only to scientists. But because we took that away, we felt bad, we decided we'd open up a new lake. So as I mentioned, when that landslide came down, it was blocking up all those creeks, streams, and rivers. One of those is Coldwater Creek. So 7 miles down the road, the landslide came down, blocked up a creek, formed a natural dam, and the water behind it began to pool, slowly. Eventually that formed a brand new lake. It's only 37 years old. And in 1993, we built a road down to it, stocked it with fish, and it's now open for fishing, boating, hiking, swimming, all that. So it's sort of the new Spirit Lake, so to speak. If you want to check out another new feature, just right across the road from that, we have what's called the hummocks trail. So I mentioned these mounds in the valley, all those pieces of the landslide. Those are what we call hummocks. Again, to kind of give you guys a sense of how that area has changed, you can see it right here. If you take a short jaunt down there, you can also see what it looks like 37 years later. So if you're interested in other hiking, other recreation, there's plenty of trails going on. Out here there's something like 60 plus miles, including that famous Mount Margaret backcountry that existed even before the eruption. That same area that Harry Truman would visit quite often. So you can see Mount St. Helens and Spirit Lake brought people here, majestic beauty. Unfortunately, that eruption that occurred completely devastated that area as well as a large area around it. But now, 37 years later, Mount St. Helens is a great place not only for recreation, but also for research. And you can see that our mountain not only destroys, but also creates as well. And I want to thank you guys for joining me.
What time, when was this built? Over here?
97.
97?
So, one last thing before I forget, I'd like to thank you guys for purchasing wristbands, pink, yellow, green, or admin. 90% of our budget, it comes in there. That goes back to us and to the facilities. If it weren't for that fee, I would be unemployed, but we would also not have a bathroom. Thank you very much.
Good way to close it. Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So that was Ranger Al.
The crater. So from the crater